Solve for x. Here you're trying to find the most efficient way on how to solve this quadratic equation. The first thing that I suggest you try is to see if the equation is factorable, but I'll save you some time. You're not going to be able to factor this trinomial. Secondly, completing the square may not be the most efficient way since we have a coefficient of 2, a leading coefficient of 2, and dividing everything by 2, you're going to eventually get some fractions and odd numbers, and we could do it, but here I think that the quadratic formula might be the best way to go. So I'm going to identify my a value, my b value, and my c value, and then I'm going to plug them into this formula. So doing so, we're going to get that x is equal to negative b, and here b is negative 6, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 6 squared. We're going to subtract 4, and we're going to multiply the quantities a and c. So 2 and positive 1. We're going to get the square root of that, and then we're going to divide everything by 2 multiplied with a. And a reminder that a is going to be 2 here. Now it's just a matter of simplifying everything. So beginning with negative 6, that's going to turn to positive 6. So now we have x equal to 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 6 squared. That's negative 6 times negative 6, which gives me negative 36. And now I'm going to multiply these three quantities together. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. If I multiply 1, I get negative 8. And then we're going to divide this by 2 times 2, which is 4. So now we get that x is equal to 6 plus or minus the square root of 28, since 36 minus 8 gives me 28. Now 28 is not a perfect square, but we can simplify the radical expression by getting the prime factorization. So I'm going to try and get the perfect squares. So here I get 4 times 7. 7 is already prime, and 4 is a perfect square. The square root of 4 is 2. So this square root of 28, I can write it as the 2 is going to be outside of the square root, and then the 7 is going to stay inside. So the square root of 28 simplifies to 2 root 7, and then we still have 4. Now on my numerator, I see that my coefficients here, my numbers, they share a common or a greatest common factor of 2, so I'm going to go ahead and factor that out. So here I get that x is equal to 2, and then 6 divided by 2, that's going to give me 3, plus or minus, and then 2 divided by 2 is 1, but I'm just going to record the square root of 7 since 1's not really going to change the value of that, and then we get 4 on the denominator. Finally, the 2 and the 4, we can simplify that as 1/2, and we get that x is equal to 3 plus or minus root 7 over 2.